Welcome back, everybody. It's time to take a look again on the cryptocurrencies. So hopefully you got some pleasure reading of our monthly report, where I think that we put important background for our vision of the perspective on the market, and that we think that not everything is bad as it actually looks like right now. There are some epic moments that should have to come at some moment, and that might change the situation. Maybe we will not get the explosive, rapid changes, but in a longer term performance, it definitely will play some role. And we think that from the investment background, if you're an investor, if you're not to speculate, you're buying Bitcoin and holding them for investment purposes for a long term, the area around 55, 50, that we talked about, is very attractive for a long-term entry. Meantime, you can see that March started with the pullback. Actually, as we explained already a few times, this pullback has purely technical background, just because of the conflict in the Middle East. Financial system is not working stably. Some problems exist there. Investors just put the assets, they're not relying on the banks, put assets on the cryptos, maybe selling some stuff, some maybe even real estate, I don't know, and putting them shortly in cryptocurrencies just to keep it. If they suggest to abandon region or so on, this is very handy. So we suggest that this performance mostly stands with this activity. How long this will last, it's difficult to say, but some active stage probably is fading already, so we will see. Meantime, on the monthly chart, you can see some minor pullback here started. At the same time, we should not forget that previously we've got really very big drop that lasts for almost half of the year, and it has really great and strong momentum. And any first pullback, it's very rare it turns to V bottom reversal. Most cases we will get some consolidation around this area if we're actually will be right in general. And then our prediction could start something like this, but in opposite direction. You can see that this was big rally sell-off followed, but strong momentum push price once again back to the top. And only after that, this next stage of the action starts. The same you can see on the top here. This usually the same stuff is happening on the bottom. On the weekly chart, we also see some response, but currently I wouldn't say that it's too strong. Mostly market stands inside of this big collapse that has happened in the beginning of the February. Probably it was the payrolls report or something. I don't remember exactly, but you can see that this drop, and since then, for a fourth week in a row, market stands inside of this range. So currently I wouldn't say that Bitcoin is showing something really superb. So this is normal consolidation once the market has reached the oversold area. On the daily chart, we have the major information for our analysis. You can see that initially we talked, and actually we keep this idea valid, that market shows the signs of the bearish dynamic pressure here, and it should at some day complete the 52 target, because this is important target that corresponds in general, fits to the overall momentum. It's very strong momentum here, and this target should be reached. But in the recent few days, you can see this our prediction started. So market still starts showing the performance that corresponds to the trend direction. But here I call you to take a look what has happened just a month ago. Take a look at this picture. What we have. Same sideways action, then minor attempt to go higher and collapsed. Exactly the same things we see right now. Sideways action, attempt to go higher, and then, based on this pattern, theoretically might happen. At least the fundamental background stands in favor of this possible continuation. As the previous time, as right now, on the 4-day frame chart, you could see that it takes the clear shape of the ABCD retracement. So we have actually got this triple to sell that is forming right around major 30% resistance, 74.50, where stands actually the objective point, as AB equals CD target. So most interesting thing will happen right around this area. So we need to carefully look what will happen around it. Once some bearish patterns might be formed here, it could indicate starting of the downward continuation. So chances that this will be just a retracement and the market will turn down out from there seems relatively high. So that's particularly what we will be watching for. On a lower time frame, I do not see something really interesting. Here is mostly some patterns has been formed that we discussed recently with this upward action. So they have not been confirmed. The market actually starts. Here is upward performance. So for now, I will be watching for this one. But at the same time, currently at this point, I think it's too early to say that the bearish context has been destroyed and market is ready to reverse up and starting upward action. So we need to get final clarity here with this performance. And since we are dealing with a really big scale on the daily chart, we have to get something really extended. I do not know, something like maybe big head and shoulders. For instance, this shoulder head, later it might be formed another shoulder, and only after that we could say that indeed on the monthly and weekly chart we're getting the starting of the process that we just discussed. But for now, I would still be careful with this judgment on this subject, and still keep in mind that OP target has not been reached, and this performance could repeat the same stuff that has happened just a month ago.